Well, hello, everyone. It's so good to see some new and familiar faces. Welcome to our final episode of the Spring 2025 Jammy Career Chat series. This month's topic is When Leaders Stumble, and you're going to have an opportunity today to hear real life stories of resilience from setback to comeback. I am particularly excited about this topic because when I think back to my own leadership journey, I learned the most from leaders ahead of me who shared with me some of the ways in which they had made a mistake or they had stumbled themselves and what they learned from that. And those stories really stuck with me and inspired my own journey in such significant ways. My name is Yas Hardaway, and I'm the Executive Director of Career Services at GSEP. And this program is a partnership between our GSEP Career Services and Alumni Relations teams. How many of you are first timers to our Jammy Communities of Practice? Raise your hand. All right, well, welcome. For those of you who are first timers, just to give you a little bit of context, Jammy is a Swahili term for community. And our Jammy Communities of Practice programs are designed to provide up-to-date information about what's happening in the labor market within the education and psychology fields. In the fall, we have our Jammy career panels, which are moderated Q&A sessions. And in the spring, we have our Jammy career chats, which are interactive breakout room conversations. So let's look at our agenda so that you know what to expect from today. I'll cover our learning outcomes, so what we hope that you'll gain from our session. I'll cover a couple housekeeping items, and then I'll introduce my colleague, Dr. Renee Dorn, who will introduce our speakers. After you hear the speaker introductions, you'll have an opportunity to go into breakouts, and you'll be able to choose the breakout room that you go into based on the topic you're interested in most. After 15 minutes, I'll invite you to switch breakout rooms so that you'll get to hear a different perspective. And then we'll come back together in the main room to wrap up and share some resources and what's next. Okay, so what do we hope that you get from this program today? Well, our vision at GSEP Career Services is that every graduate would have the clarity, the confidence, and the community to be able to access, thrive in, and truly transform the future workplace. So our learning outcomes are based on that particular vision, that we hope you'll gain clarity about the next step in your career planning, that you'll gain confidence in your ability to successfully move towards your career objective, and that you will connect to a larger community of industry professionals from Pepperdine. All right. My colleague Franya will put in the chat a link to our participant drive. And in our participant drive, you'll be able to access our speaker lineup, which is the bios from our speakers today. And then eventually, we'll also add the recording from the main room discussion. You'll also see that there are multiple folders from previous Jammy events so that you can access those as well, too. All right, and just one shameless plug, our GSEP Career Services team is hiring. So if you are a current student and you're seeking a student employment opportunity, we would love to have you apply for this position. It's an opportunity to be able to help other students with their self-marketing, as well as participate and help facilitate these types of events. So if you're interested, Rania will put the link from Handshake so that you can apply. All right, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Renee Dorn, who will kick us off. Dr. Dorn?
Thank you so much, Yaz. It is a pleasure to be with all of you today, and I'm so excited to introduce our speakers for today. I'd love to say that the doctors are in the house because we have three doctors who will be our speakers, and I'm so excited. So our first one that I'd like to introduce is Dr. LaFay Platter. So welcome, Dr. Platter.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm just honored to be here. So I decided to go to Pepperdine for my doctorate, and it was one of the best decisions I have ever made in my career. At the time, I was working in human resources for a school district. I finished in 2010. I retired later than that as a deputy superintendent of human resources because I wanted to consult. I felt that with all of the information that I had learned from Pepperdine and the practical application of it in business, I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to help a broader audience. So I'm currently an executive leadership coach and speaker. And what I am finding is that we don't learn in the good times, we learn in the hard times. So people don't call me in when they're having a good time and everything is going well. They call me in when things have fallen apart and they want to know what to do. So because of the experiences that I have had and being able to link that to all of the things that I learned in my doctoral program, much of my work is around people. And the thing that I've learned more than anything else is that it's not the technical skills that will get you, it's those social and political savvy skills. So
Right.
most of my work is around helping teams work together better. Gaining social and political savvy. And I'm just really excited to be talking to you today about not only what has gone well in my career, but more importantly, what has gone wrong and why resilience is such an important skill as a leader. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Platter. So if you want to learn more about what Dr. Platter was talking about, please join her for her breakout room. All right. Thank you. So our next speaker, Dr. Jessica Stiles Lewis. Welcome, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you. Can you all
Dr.
hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. Well, I am a career changer, and so I think this event is really special because at certain points in my life, I did the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wish I would have figured this out earlier. And so I lived in New York, Manhattan for 9 years and worked in various industries. I started out in marketing for MTV Networks and then beauty for Givenchy and throughout my career, I realized that being a helper was really my calling. And so I started my own company in 2008. It was called the Fab Network, and I developed curriculum for in-school and after-school programs. And that experience was really profound for me, but it was also humbling and made me realize that there was a lot that I did not know. And that was the seed that was planted of going back to graduate school. And so I had a conversation with God. I sold everything. And I was like, if I get into Pepperdine, which was the only school that I applied to, the Master of Arts in Psychology program, then I'm going. And I got in. And this is how little I knew about psychology because I was not a psychology undergrad and had worked 10 years before deciding to go back to school. I remember being, my first 2 weeks there, and somebody was telling me that I should join a research lab. I didn't even know what a research lab was. Okay.
Right,
And
right.
so, Pepperdine was really instrumental for me in just learning the ropes. And so I went from what I like to say, playing street basketball to preparing for the big leagues, the NBA. And long story
Wow.
short, which I'll go into in my breakout, is that I went from not knowing what a research lab was to getting a full academic scholarship to a R1 university at the University of Georgia on a full academic scholarship under the mentorship of Dr. Shelley Harrell, who is a Harvard-trained UCLA graduate and is a professor at Pepperdine. So that
Yeah,
is just a teaser into the powerful experience that Pepperdine provided me.
that's
Yeah.
excellent. Excellent. So if you want to hear more about Dr. Lewis's story, please join her in her breakout room. Thank you, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you.
And then last but not least, our third GSEP alum, Dr. Edward Van Loonen. Welcome, Dr. Van Loonen.
Thank you, Dr. Dorn. It's lovely to see you and be here with all the great colleagues. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm going to start with a quick story. It's 1987. I'm a Peace Corps volunteer in the Republic of Guinea in West Africa. I am teaching 300 high school students, and in my first day as a new teacher, I stood in front of my classroom. I started talking. The kids were listening. I said to myself, Edward, you're talking. Are you making any sense? If not, you had better start making sense immediately. So
Yes.
that sense of trepidation gave way to joy after 3 months and said, I think I found my thing.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
liking this. Chose my career path to be in this field. And 30
Yeah.
years later, I'm still doing what I love, which is helping leaders, teams, and companies be better.
Wonderful.
Between Peace Corps and now, I had the privilege to work at Avon Products, Ding Dong Avon Calling, if you remember that company. Also Heineken, Sony, Disney, and Express Scripts. It was between Sony and Disney that I was so grateful to be accepted to Pepperdine, much to the joy, as my colleague Dr. Lewis shared,
Yeah.
to enter in the EDOL program, and I graduated in 2016. It was a highlight of my career, certainly. But my last career step was at Express Scripts in St. Louis. It was a career making position, retirement making position, and that's where I had my biggest career stumble. And if you'd like to learn more, I'm happy to share more, but it's through, as Dr. Platter brightly said, it's through our troubles that we learn the most and have the most opportunities. So I'm happy to share a little bit more about that too.
Oh, you left us with a teaser right there. So if you want to hear more about Dr. Van Loonen's story, please join him in his breakout room. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So now you've heard from all three of your speakers for today, and I'm going to pass things over to Yaz so we can get ready to start those breakout rooms.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Dorn. I want to be in every room.
Yes.
Okay, so let me share a little bit about what you can expect. All right. So Franya has put in the chat, but for those that just entered, maybe Franya, you can put in again. These are the three breakout rooms, and you'll have an opportunity to switch after 15 minutes to hear a new perspective. So I would encourage you to view the speaker lineup so that you can just read a little bit about the bios. It just provides a little bit more information than what the speakers shared. Then you choose your own adventure. You can choose which breakout room to go into. I would encourage you, if you can, I know that's not possible for everyone, but I would encourage you, if you can, to keep your camera on so that it just allows for a bit more engagement with the speaker and others in the room. I also just asked you to share space with others. So after you've asked your question, to just create space for others to be able to ask theirs. And the facilitator will remind you about this as well, but if you could use your raise hand feature so that we can make sure that the process moves efficiently and equitably. And then after 15 minutes, I'll invite you to switch rooms, and then you can go and choose a different breakout room. So for those of you who aren't on Zoom regularly or maybe not comfortable or familiar with breakout rooms, at the bottom of the screen, you will see an icon that says breakout rooms or join breakout room. You click on that, and then you'll see the three breakout room options, and then you can just click on join to go into the breakout room of choice. And then you'll be able to do that again when it's time to switch. So again, these are the three rooms. And Franya, are you ready? Okay, Franya just opened up the rooms. So I'll give you a heads up when we are about to switch. So please feel free to go into your rooms. All right, everyone, welcome back. I had a chance to hop into the different rooms and just heard some great discussion and such wisdom. And I want to first thank our speakers, our alumni, for being willing to take the time to share their stories, both the challenges that they faced and the resilience that they had to really embrace in order to move forward. And we don't take lightly your time and your experience. So thank you for being with us today. I would love to just do a quick wrap up from each of the speakers. If you could just share one final thought about stumbling, one final thought or piece of advice for when leaders stumble. We'll start with Dr. Platter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
There you
one
go.
final thought. A couple of people have asked, what do you do? How do you get over feeling badly when you make a mistake? Just say fix the effects of the mistake, but don't be so arrogant like I was to believe that we are too good to make a mistake. Fix whatever needs to be fixed and then put it in a drawer so that you can move ahead.
I love that. Fix what needs to be fixed and put it in a drawer. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Dr. Lewis.
I would say use every experience to build your purpose. And if you can be resilient through the things that you're going through and find the purpose in it, and always operate from your values, then everything that you are called and meant to do will come to you especially having the right people in your life. So everything that I have gone through has set me up for the work that I do now. And so I encourage everybody to look at their challenges as really a setup.
I love that as a setup and staying by your values and having the right people in your life, trusting that it will come. Yeah, thank you for that. Dr. Van Lunen.
Thank you. I would like to just echo the wisdom of my two colleagues here and also humbly offer that when you are going through a career stumble, it looks bleak, it looks bad. Your confidence is down. You may think you'll never get out of this situation again, but just realize that you have more know-how and experience and smarts than you think you do. It's just clouded at this moment. So take the time to revisit your past experiences, your know-how, and realize that this is just a blip. This stumble is just a blip, but you have more tools and knowledge and experience that's going to help you soar once again. Just know that.
I love that. I love that. It's just a blip and that you have what you need to be able to move forward. I love that. Thank you. Well, to our speakers, if you are open to being contacted after this, if you would be willing to put your LinkedIn or whatever contact information you prefer in the chat, then we would greatly appreciate it. And for those that want to follow up, we'll be able to do so. So now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Katrina, because we may have some prospective students who are considering the program and would like to hear a little bit more about how they can learn more. So, Katrina?
Yes, hi. So again, my name is Katrina. I am in the admissions office. So if you heard our alumni speakers today and you yourself were inspired, please reach out to me. I'd love to continue the conversation with you. I think that we all saw from our speakers, right? Pepperdine's pillars are service, purpose, and leadership. And we really infuse that into our curriculum. And I know for leadership in particular, we look at the framework from which you lead. And I think our speakers have shared that when you know that framework, when you're confident in that, you can lead in any situation. Even when you're down, you're still a leader. And so if you want to explore leadership, whether that's in one of our education programs or we infuse it into psychology as well, as you saw from our speakers, I'd love to talk to you. And I look forward to continuing this conversation.
Great. Thank you so much, Katrina, and Franya has put your information in the chat for those that would like to follow up. All right, so now I'd like to close out with a few resources. Some of you may already be familiar with Handshake. Handshake is our career management system at Pepperdine. And if you haven't downloaded the app, I would encourage you to do so because through Handshake, you're able to schedule appointments, career design sessions, for a 1-hour session with one of our counselors on clarifying your next step and creating an action plan and an industry-specific strategy, or document feedback sessions so that we can help you by reviewing your self-marketing materials, resume, CV, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, and helping you customize it for your next step. Handshake also allows you to sign up for events like this one, as well as access resources that were specifically customized and created for our Graduate School of Education and Psychology. And of course, Handshake lists our employment opportunities. So you can search for employment opportunities by role, industry, geographic area. And as you use Handshake more, it'll curate, just like Netflix, it'll suggest different employment opportunities, resources, and events that would be of interest to you. I also just want to reiterate what we share in all of our Jammy sessions, that we are committed to promoting access for our community. I've shared our vision with you earlier, and I just want to emphasize that we hope to create resources and services from an equitable lens and to really foster a sense of community where our graduates feel as though they belong and their unique backgrounds and identities are truly honored. And so that is our commitment. We also have curated some resources through all of our Jammy programs this term. And so Franya will put those list of resources in the chat and we'll pull some nuggets from what the speakers shared today so that you can look back on that as well. All right, now I'll turn it over to my colleague, Nadine.
Okay, so again, thank you all for being here. We would really appreciate any feedback that you have. Feel free to scan the QR code on the screen, or Franya will also include the link in the chat for our survey. We really appreciate and value your feedback. And for everyone who does fill out that very brief survey, you would be entered for an opportunity drawing for an Amazon gift card. And what's next? So this, like we've said, is the last installment of our series for the spring. We take a brief hiatus throughout the summer, but we'll be back in the fall with our Jamie Career Panel series. So it'll be a little bit different. Rather than breakout rooms, it'll be a panel where questions will be asked in the large group setting to speakers. And we'll have different topics in the fall. So please keep an eye out for emails and sign up for them once they come back around.
Thank you, Nadine. And now I'll turn it back over to Dr. Dorn.
Yes, thank you. So, if you'd like to hear more about some of the things that we're doing within GSEP, follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then we also have a LinkedIn alumni group. So, we'd love for you to join us and find out more information about a lot of the things that take place within GSEP. So, we look forward to seeing you on social media.
Thank you, Dr. Dorn. All right, Stephanie, are we ready for those who are comfortable being on camera? If you want to turn on your camera, and I'll turn it over to Stephanie.
Yes, so if on the count of three, if you can pick your favorite reaction, and I will take a selfie of all of us who participated in our last spring Jammy. On the count of three, 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Thank you all so much for your time and joining us here today for Jammy.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. All right. Well, we hope to see you back in the fall. Thank you again to our speakers and those of you who took time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you and good luck.